My name is Nix Marikuma, and I am the owner of Marikuma Healing. Today, we are going to do part 2 of Cancer's 2025 year reading. We tackled what 2024 was about, your job, your financial, and your love life, okay? We kind of got into family, so I'm going to just stop at that and then bring up what family is about. Then we're going to go to your friendship, spiritual outlook for 2025, and what the rest of these months are going to be like, okay? From January to December of 2025 is our next thing. And then obstacles, how to work that out, and the main theme for this year for you guys. All right. Now, I've already pulled out the cards. It's kind of at nighttime where I'm at, so I'm trying not to be so loud for the sake of like my family and everything. Anyways, if you guys are interested in your own private 2025 year reading, whether it's a past year, a present year, or a future year, and you want me to kind of read about that, $25. For 27, you get 3 card readings of any kind that is not year related, and I read both palms. All right, if palm reading and card reading is not your thing, I also offer counseling with advice. Weekly counseling is $6, $20 for monthly. And if you want like a whole year, like a year-round thing, it is $200. All right. Now, that being said, let's go. So Cancer, your family is represented as energy and disorganization. We talked about how to put our energy into more productive things, okay? I'm really bad at sometimes pasting myself. I try to get every single thing done all at the same time. And that can be really stressful, you know what I mean? Hold on, let me just make sure I got this right. The lighting on my phone is so funky. So hopefully you guys can kind of see me and I don't look, whack. But if I do, I apologize. Anyways, just like I was saying, I'm a really bad person sometimes. I'm trying to prioritize myself, get myself organized, and I tend to sometimes overdo it. You know what I mean? So if you guys are kind of like me and you overdo things, you're trying to go over there and be able to take care of your family, and at the same time you're over here trying to take care of yourself and you want to be productive for your friends, and you just stretch so thin. Maybe it's a good thing just to try to prioritize your time, okay? Listen, family can be really stressful. Sometimes our family has a lot of issues and problems, and it requires us to be like, you have to be a certain type of person to deal with your family sometimes. You can't be too open about certain things because your family won't approve, or that this may cause drama, or that person has this issue. And as much as we want to be present for our families, sometimes we can't. At the same time, you have to heal. Here's the thing. You guys are having energy disorganization with your family because of victimization and giving up. Okay, that's what the Ten of Spades is. So if you're having issues with them, it could be due to past issues. You know what I mean? And how to help you with that victimization and giving up is going to require you guys to be wise, patient, and diplomatic, which is the same thing that is represented for your spiritual outlook. You're learning as you grow to be very wise and to be able to be patient with yourself and others, and to be able to meet in the middle, combine ideas, or simply agree to disagree. Okay? I love my family and I love my friends. Sometimes I get on their last nerves. I do. It's what family does. They get on your nerves sometimes. That doesn't mean that you hate them. You love them very much. but sometimes it can be a lot. It goes both ways, guys. I'm not saying I hate my family. I'm just saying that sometimes our family drives us crazy. You know what I mean? And sometimes we drive our family absolutely nuts. But if you're learning to be wise and patient, I think you're learning how to deal with certain things. Like when it comes to victimization and giving up, you have to learn to heal. And like I said with your relationship, okay? Like how I talked about not dealing with very narcissistic or abusive people. Sometimes our family members are very toxic and abusive. They're very, nasty, and they are very impulsive, and they've hurt us, and we want to give them a chance, but we can't keep going through that same roller coaster, and you might need to let them go. Okay, for you guys who are learning to let go of your family drama and try to move past it, firstly, I'm really sorry if that's what you guys are going through, Cancer. It's not easy, and sometimes it feels really impossible that you can ever overcome it, but you will. It takes time, like all things, but you can do it, okay? That being said, nasty is nasty and toxic is toxic. Whether it's coming from a loved one, whether it's coming from friends, whether it's coming from a partner, coworker, whatever, you should never have to tolerate abuse from a man, a woman, or a person in general, okay? You deserve people that will love you, that will support you, that have patience for you, that treat you with respect, love, kindness, and all the good stuff, okay? Now, that being said, when you're being patient with yourself and you're healing, you can't blame yourself for things that happen. A lot of us, especially those of us who've gone through very traumatic, abusive situations, we tend to blame ourselves instead of blaming others for our pain. We think that we can handle all the anger we have inside, and we put it on ourselves. We blame ourselves. We curse ourselves. We make ourselves feel all the hatred that we have inside because we don't want to hurt other people. And we feel like on some level we deserve to be mistreated, right? And I get it. I used to do it all the time. And it took me a really long time not to do that to myself anymore, because I figured if anything, I can handle it, right? It's me. I can handle my own anger. It's all my fault. I know I've done something wrong. It was so easy to put it on myself instead of being like, you know what? They messed up. They did me wrong and it's their fault. And to let go of the anger I felt towards those specific people who've done me dirty, right? So I'm telling you guys as somebody who's been there, done that. Don't blame yourself for the past issues. Please learn to heal. Like I said with your relationship, forgive yourself. Let go of the situation, okay? Let go of the nasty situations that were out of your control. You didn't know. And even if you did, you were scared or you thought it would get better. You had reasons, and some would say excuses, for staying in there, right? Men and women and people in general, like all genders, right? All types of walks of life, have gone through some serious BS. Bologna sandwich, if you will. I'm trying to be nice, right? I'm trying to keep my cursing to at least a bare minimum. So we'll see how long that lasts, right? But silliness aside, it's hard to forgive yourself for being in a situation where you knew you shouldn't have been in it, where you felt like you've been wronged, and it takes a long time to heal. It takes some time. It doesn't get over by night. Okay, Rome was not made in a day. It took a long time for that empire to rise. It's going to take some time for you to feel comfortable in your own skin again, for you to start loving yourself like you're supposed to, for you doing some shadow work and being like, okay, These are some toxic habits. These are some trauma responses. These are things that I've, held on to that I've used to help me, and they're not helping me anymore. They're harming me. So I need to work on past that. I need to work on forgiving myself. I need to work on letting go of the situation. Letting go of a situation does not mean that you forgive them. It means that they no longer control you. Okay? They do not deserve your energy and your time anymore, honey. And I say this with love, and I say this with compassion. All right? I know that I do not know you guys. I know that I may not see you guys personally, but I do wish you guys to have a happy and an amazing life, because a lot of people deserve that. And so do you. You deserve to be happy and being treated right. So family's a little bit like, it's a touchy water, it's kind of rocky to navigate. It's okay. Be with people that make you happy. Be with people that are kind. If you guys have issues and you can work it out, great. If y'all cannot work out your issues and differences, then be okay with that too. All right? Now, that being said, being wise and patient, okay? I'm not even done with the stages of healing, but first, let me tackle that, okay? I promise I'm going to make a short about it so that way you guys can have that to look back on. Because anytime it comes with like discord, dysfunctional energy, it ties into loved ones and things of that nature. I feel like some of you guys have issues with your family, and the other half of you guys are just trying to make time for your family. But at the same time, you're trying to do your own thing. And it's just really hard to find that balance. Like, I want to live my own life, but at the same time, I want to be there for my family. But at the same time, I kind of just need a break from them. But I don't want to be mean about it, because I love them. I love my family. I love my friends. I want to have them in my life. But my God, I need a break. I need to do me. I need to live my life. I need to just be who I am without people feeling a certain way. I get it. Me too. Forgive yourself is the first step. The second step, let go of situations. The third step of healing, work on your triggers. Work on your triggers. The third step always flipped me up in my healing, because I never worked on my triggers. Okay? And mind you guys, I've been through a lot in my 29 years of living. Okay? I've seen a lot of things that I wish I haven't seen. And it's coming a lot from somebody who's visually impaired, but like, if you know, and if you get it, you get it. But like, there's some things I didn't think I could ever hear from, but I have. It took in a while, but I got to a point where I've learned to love myself and like be able to address my toxic habits, my trauma responses, and how I have picked up bad habits to survive certain situations, right? And I now know my triggers. I'm like, okay, I've overcome this amount of triggers, but there's like 3 or 5 of them that I still have that I understand I can never overcome. But I know that when I get triggered, when that happens, like for example, if someone says, I'm just kidding, I just wanted to see reaction, don't take it so hard, it was just a joke, you're so sensitive, that really irks my nerve, because like I don't trust people who say those things to me, because I've heard it all too many times before. And it's always been said about people who've hurt me, who've like abused me, who have manipulated me. They always said those things. So when I'm with family, or when I'm with my best friends, or if I have a partner, whoever they may be, right? I'm like, look, we've known each other for a while now. I think certain things you should know about me. When you say these things, I will automatically not believe you, because I've been hurt by these words, And I just want you to know, so that way when you do accidentally say it because you didn't know or you forgot, and I react this way, I want you to know where it's coming from. It's not coming from me being a prick or a dick prick or whatever. It's just because I associate those specific words with this kind of feeling, and it allows me to be a little bit more open about some stuff. I'm not going to tell them my whole triggers, but I think on some things I've learned to be like, okay, well, they're my partner and we've been here for like a long time. They're here for the long haul. I think there's some things they should know. Again, you do what you feel comfortable with, okay? Not everybody's going to need to know about your whole backstory, especially if you've been through traumatic abuse and just problems and stress and toxicity and things of that nature. It's okay to keep some things to yourself. If you're not comfortable, you feel safe to open up to those people around you. It's all right. But be honest and be real with yourself, okay? When you work on your triggers, you work on them not controlling you. You control the triggers, not the other way around. And those first 3 steps are going to be really hard and difficult, but you will overcome it and you can achieve it, okay? This also comes from healing from family trauma, family abuse, family neglect, family toxicity, because as much as I hate to say it, sometimes our abusers are at home. Sometimes there are flesh and blood. Sometimes there are people who are supposed to protect us and keep us safe, right? And they don't. They end up hurting us. They end up abusing us. They end up making us feel like we're nothing. And that can be really hard to deal with, especially when you're trying to navigate all those complex feelings that it brings, okay? So the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th step are the most fun. Okay, I know healing is supposed to be a battlefield, but I feel like the 4th and the 5th and 6th, the last 3 steps of these things, super fun. The 4th one is when you get comfortable about blocking people who are not worth your time. Okay, I know I'm going on to details about healing, but when it comes to family and you're having energy and disorganization, it's not A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3 sometimes. Sometimes it's complex feelings because you may be close to half of your family, but the other half of your family you're not close to because certain people have mucked it up. You know, family can be really hard to navigate because you want them in your life, but at the same time you want peace and tranquility, and sometimes you get that and sometimes you don't. All right, anyways, 4th step, blocking people, no contact, no texting. Listen, if anybody has to make you feel small and weak and helpless for them to feel better about themselves, I don't care if they're blood or not. They're not worth your time, baby. They're not worth your time. Don't waste your time with people like that, okay? You deserve so much more. Whether you're Cancer, moon, sun, rising, ascending, whatever, okay? This goes for whoever this reading resonates with, and it's also directed to Cancer, all right? Like the zodiac sign. You guys deserve to be loved. You guys deserve to be treated right. I don't know who told you guys that you weren't supposed to be treated right, but you know, screw them. You know what I mean? Like flip a pancake. They don't deserve your time. Block the problematic, block the drama, block the toxicity, the nasty, the abuse. You do not deserve that type of treatment, okay? All right, now that being said, you are going to learn how to love yourself again. That's the 5th step. You're going to try new things. You're going to explore and try new stuff and learn yourself again. As you're healing, you are also doing shadow work, okay? You're working on your bad habits. You're working on how you deal with stress. You're working on accepting and embracing your imperfections, your talents, your gifts. You're learning who you are and loving that person again. Because for so long, you have neglected and ran away and hid from that person. Now it's time to embrace that person. It's time to love yourself again. And the 6th step, which is the most fun, you are hanging out with people that are meant to have your time. You're hanging out with people that have your similar interests, that make you feel seen and happy. You're with people that make you feel free, okay? So with patience and diplomacy and wisdom, it also comes with your healing because you're learning how to be a lot more smarter, how to handle your time, who to give your time to, who to give your emotions and your attention to, how to keep to yourself, how to put yourself first, and how to handle situations and obstacles that may come your way. You're learning to be patient with yourself, which will help you be patient with others. Diplomacy is a fancy smancy word for compromising, okay? Remember, wisdom, patience, and diplomacy is also going to be in your spiritual, all right? Now, the kicker is that you may go back to bad habits of shutting down. Empathy and turning inward. When it comes to empathy, it is an emotion of feeling numb, hollow, and empty. When your body and your mind and your heart and your spirit is overwhelmed and bombarded, it shuts down, okay? I pray to the heavens I don't have mosquitoes. I already got malaria once, guys. I don't want to get malaria again. Talking about a heck, man, it was heaven's creation. Anyways, empathy, let's get into it, right? I have struggled with empathy for years, all right? And I've recently, like around 26, 25, I finally got, I would say 26 to 27, I really got better with my mental and emotional health. As a lot of you guys know, or if you guys have followed me from like day one, which was last year on January when I had this business start, I talk about having glaucoma, right? Glaucoma is a disease that affects your eyes. It attacks your optic nerves. I promise you guys we're going to get into all that, into more details. But the thing is that it messes with your emotions and it messes with your mind. Because when you have a physical disability, it also affects how you feel about yourself, how do you think about how others will think about you, what others will see, right? It can be a lot to handle. Anyways, it caused me to shut down and block all my emotions and be very hollow and numb and empty. And the worst part is that I couldn't talk to my loved ones about it because I didn't want to be a burden. How am I supposed to tell everybody that I love that I don't feel any emotions anymore? That I feel so dead inside, you know? And it makes you feel like you're not human because you hear all about these like sociopaths and psychopaths and narcissists who are incapable of having human emotions. And I'm like, it's like I can turn my emotions on and I can shut my emotions off. I didn't learn until I started my spirituality, right? Till I learned how to do the craft, that it's empathy. It has a name, and this is what it does. So sometimes we use empathy as a defense mechanism to just not be overwhelmed with hard emotions and complex feelings, right? And I get it. It's easier to feel nothing than to feel everything at the same time. And people don't understand that when you have all that emotion coming to you and you're dealing with all these things rushing at you, it's like you're drowning in an invisible sea. You know what I mean? It's really scary. And you don't know how people are going to act or how people are going to think because you're not talking about this. They want to help, but they can't help. And I'm like, can you even understand? And when you go to a doctor and talk about how you feel, right? You are so scared that they'll send you into the asylum or the mental institute because what kind of human being doesn't have emotions? Depression, anxiety, anger, and despair are very hard feelings to deal with, especially when you feel them at 1,000 levels, you know? So work on not running into shutting down. Work on dealing with healthy ways to have your emotions without them killing you. And when it comes to family, be with the people that you know will always have your back and love you for your good, your bad, and your ugly. Go to them and open up to them and be like, yo, I'm really overwhelmed and stressed because of this, that, and the third. It's okay. It's okay. Take time, okay? Be able to talk to a counselor or a therapist or a friend and air out these emotions so that way they don't kill you. Because a lot of times when we have emotional issues or health issues with our feelings, we're so good at pretending to be okay. And a lot of people think that when you're sad that you cry and you're angry, but a majority of us are really good at hiding our pain with a smile. I can't tell you how many times I was like, I'm okay, everything's all right, don't worry about it, it's no big deal. And reality of it is I'm killing myself on the inside. It took a lot of courage for me to ask for help. And now that I've learned how to deal with my emotional and mental health a little bit more better, I want the same for you guys, okay? All right, that tackles your family, and that tackles some advice that you should try it out, all right? So that being said, we're going to talk about your friendship. So Cancer, your friendship is represented as resentment and a turning point. So maybe you guys have had fake friends, people that have pretended to be your buddy. Maybe they've used you. Maybe you have some trust issues and you're like, I don't think I can trust everybody so openly. Does that make me a bad person? No, it does not make you a bad person. It just makes you a very cautious person, because when you get stung enough times, you learn not to deal with certain stuff. You know what I mean? Like, if I get burned once, I learned that I need to be careful around fire, or I need to be careful around the stove. But if I keep getting burned, I'm going to start not trusting the stove, or I'm going to start being a little bit cautious about certain things. It's the same thing with people. Sometimes we get betrayed by people that we want to be around, right? And we learn that maybe everybody's just a pile of garbage. Not everybody. There are really good people in this world. They're hard to find because they keep to themselves, but they really do have some nice people in this world. It's just hard to find them. All right, what's the cause of the resentment, untruthfulness, untrustworthiness, and theft? I want you guys to understand that this is the same card for your love life, right? When we're talking about healing from past love and things of that nature. So the reason why there's some resentment is because you may have had some friends that are very untruthful, that lied, and they may have robbed you of your time or money, you know? I get it. All right, how can we help Cancer out with that? Romance, childishness, and irresponsibility. I feel like you're going to have to look out for people with those characteristics, but at the same time, I don't know. Sorry, my eyes are acting up. Normally I try not to do too much of these, but since I missed a whole week due to malaria, technically I missed like a bunch of weeks due to malaria. Trying to make up for it. All right. Because last week we would have been at least on like what? Scorpio, Pisces. All right. The outcome is family, contentment, and joy, which is what your finances. Okay. So you have resentment and a turning point due to untruthfulness, untrustworthiness, and theft. So you had people in your life that you may be noticing aren't real. They could be fake or have false intentions. I get it. Like I said, there are good people in this world, but we are surrounded by plastic, artificial people because we live in a world where being honest and genuine is a crime, and being fake and unrealistic is just applaud, right? We love our fake people. Jesus Almighty. What will help you out is romance, childishness, and irresponsibility. So this card is more like for carefree, okay? I'm not restrained. I'm not tied down. I do what I want. I'm living my life. You know, maybe I'm having some side, like, I wouldn't say side pieces. That's really mean. Having open relationships, just hanging out with people, doing my stuff, right? The outcome of it is can family contentment and joy. I want to just like here's the thing, how I see it though. I think you need to make sure that if you're gonna have friends, guys, get people who are loyal.